Books we read. Books we read. La 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 la
Hey guys, welcome to Between the Pages. Today we're joined by Deepali, a strong and independent woman who loves to read, write, and illustrate books. Today she's here with a beautiful book, If You See a Fairy Ring. In today's shoot, she takes us through the magical fairy village and enchants us with the beautiful poems inside. Let's welcome Deepali. Hi Deepali, welcome to Between the Pages. How have you been lately?
Very well, thank you. Very excited to be here. Uh, thank you.
Can you share a bit about yourself?
All right. I'm Deepali Parmar. I am basically a very creative person. I write stories, I write poems, I paint, I work with different forms of creativity like dance and theater, and I've written some plays, directed them, and I work with children all my life.
That's so awesome. So, can you share about your journey as a writer and illustrator and how you first became interested in creating books for children?
Ooh. I would say since I was little, like 10 years old, the first thing I remember, in fact, it's a very interesting story. Maybe you'll like it. Our listeners might also like it. That I was a little girl, maybe 10, 9, and then one afternoon, you know how children get bored. I was bored probably. So I gathered with 7, 8 friends of my little friends from the building and said, एक नाटक करेंगे और तभी वो एक किताब मेरे हाथ में आई थी मैं बीच में ऐसे हिंदी में बोलूँ तो इज गुड
Yeah,
हाँ बिकॉज इट्स नाइस
yeah.
सो एक किताब थी चूहे की टोपी इन विच द चूहा फाइंड्स अ लिटिल पीस ऑफ रैग एक फड़का मिलता है उसको और वो उसको एक आइडिया आती है कि मैं इसका टोपी बना के राजा को मिलने जाऊंगा सो वो धोबी के पास जाता है धोबी धोके दो मैं राजा को मिलने जाऊंगा धोबी से अरे आई डोंट हैव टाइम फॉर दिस तो इससे ठीक है मैं राजा को तुम्हारी कंप्लेन करूंगा सो धोबी के नो डज इट सो लाइक दैट ही गोज टू द धोबी जरी वाला टेलर डाई वाला and then finally he comes to the Raja. And so Raja says, what is it? And he says, look, I want to show you my topi. That's all. Very simple. The Raja says, your topi is nothing compared to my crown. So then, because he wanted the topi from him, because it was so pretty, so he said, "You give me the topi." He's saying, "No, no, I don't want to give you my topi." So he takes it away. The Raja takes it away because I'm the king. I can take. This is Raja is a bhikhari. Raja is a chore. You know? So all the little children got each one role. You know, somebody is a dhobi, somebody. So it became such a lovely thing, and that's I think my one of my earliest memories of how I love working with children and creating something just for the fun of it. And that's how it all started, I think.
That's beautiful. And I'm wondering how you approach the process of writing. What inspires for you to start something?
I mean, a very simple things actually got get them started, you know, like just a little experience or a little glimmer of something sweet you see. Like my dog wagging her tail can make me feel so tender and oh, so sweet. And the way she looks at you, or just the way the light is coming through the trees. It could be anything very simple that gets it started. No great ideas. I don't like to follow great ideas.
All right. And let's talk about the book you're here with today, If You See a
Yes.
Fairy Ring. And what drew you to that book as an adult reader?
Actually, it's very interesting. Just a few months back, I went to meet my best friend in Bombay, and I was sleeping in her daughter's room when she was not around. Uh, and in her room, there was this book, which is called If You See a Fairy Ring. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I said, can I take it? Can I take it? Can I take it? And so that's it. That's how I read it almost every night because it is just so beautiful, this book. I mean, so simple.
Okay.
It's full of poetry from the Western poets, basically. But it's my current muse, my current favorite.
All right. And are there any lessons or messages that you think the book conveys?
I don't think the book is designed to convey anything. It's poems. a rich treasury of classic fairy poems. But the way it is done, it's like a not exactly pop-up book. It's called a sliding pop-up. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe I can show it to you. And so it's got beautiful illustrations, which makes it even more interesting. If it was only poems, I may not have been so drawn to it. But because of the illustrations are so detailed and beautiful, it makes it a very, very nice book. So it's not about the message it may be giving, but not written in it. Is that notice these simple little things in nature, especially, and then you find a glimmer, you find something cute and simple and like light and tingling. Maybe it's a fairy, but to strike your imagination and open your mind up. I think we as human beings, adults or even children, we forget that wondering and just being in wonderment and awe and curiosity is a very healthy thing. It lifts you, it fills you with wellness. And so for me, it's not so much about believing in fairy or not, or this and that and magical worlds. It's not so important. But what they do to inform you today, how does it make you feel as a person? So that's the overall message I believe it's communicating to me.
I see. And how do the illustrations contribute to the storytelling or the poems in this book?
See the illustrations. I would love to just show it to all of us. They, I mean, I should actually share a poem and an illustration so everybody just gets it. Because explaining it never works. I'll share the first one and I'll show you why the book is so special. So that's the cover. Is it clear? Of course, you'll see it upside.
No,
But
it's good.
open the book. You see, you see this. And when you open this page like that, it slides. You see what happened?
Oh, that's so cool.
It slides like that. It's so different that way. And now you can see all the little details. There's so much happening, like a big carnival, a picnic, everybody's out and things are happening over here. Yeah, I'll bring it a little closer.
That is so cool. Yeah, I can see it.
There's a whole world of happening. And now, if I read the poem that is across it, written by Robert Graves, I'd love to be a fairy's child. Children born of fairy stock never need for shirt or frock, never want for food or fire, always get their heart's desire. Jingle pockets full of gold, merry when they're 7 years old. Every fairy child may keep 2 strong ponies and 10 sheep. All have houses, each his own, built of brick or granite stone. They live on cherries, they run wild. I'd love to be a fairy's child.
That is so nice.
Isn't it? And I believe we are fairy's child. See, this is when you open it, you see the marriage of the little two fairies.
Oh, I like this so much now already.
And then there is probably the feast around it.
Wow.
So there we go. I'm so glad you like it.
Okay, so I believe that we've already gone through this, but what do you think this book, I mean sorry, I'll repeat the question. What do you think sets this book apart from other children's fantasy books?
Oh, I've really, frankly, not sat to compare it at all.
Okay.
So I've not really thought because each one absolutely does the same thing in a way that it sets your mind free to exercise your own wonderment, your own curiosity, your own willingness to see things differently, and that is a reminder of our capacity as human beings that we are not supposed to always do the line. We are not supposed to always do the right thing uh, just for the heck of it, of course. But it's an inspired action. If you feel inspired and out of curiosity or wonderment, say, oh, I wonder if I do this, what will happen? So So that I think every children's magical storybook does, that it wants to take you into this other world, which is familiar yet so different, and it makes you feel like I want to be that. I want to be a fairy's child. I want to marry when I'm 7 and live in my own house and have enough to eat and ponies and whatnot.
All right. And how important do you think it is for children's books to incorporate elements of fantasy and imagination?
When you say children, I would say there would be an age when you really need more fantasy and less fiction. Um, the younger ones, till about 8, 10, even 12, up to 12. And then gradually you do want to bring in some real life things that give you a sense of both worlds. So in the beginning, you want to retain the child's sense of innocence. Yeah, so for all children's writers and creatives, you do want to let the child feel strong about that. When I imagine something, there is something there. It's not, just for the sake of fantasizing. But then slowly, you gradually bring in the real world things as he's 8, 9, 10. Then they realize, oh, this world and that world is not so different. And so they feel confident to develop when their identity, they're becoming clear of who they are, what they want to do, what are their opinions on things. That's when they feel, oh, okay, I can straddle both the worlds. I think that would be a nice graduate blending.
And lastly, what age group would you recommend this book to?
Oh, actually, everybody.
Why so?
First of all, it's poetry, okay? And poetry speaks to everybody. Uh, the simple fact that poetry does not try to tell you too much. It leaves a lot unsaid, which is why they're small. And that lot unsaid is where you come in and you fill up the rest with what you imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, what stays with you. So for me, I feel anything like this, any fantasy book, I recommend, in fact, grown-ups to read more of that. Because one is they get to see the mind of a child. They forget, especially parents and others also, but every grown up should definitely have a fantasy, magical, surrealism books on that. Because it reminds you, first of all, about the power of imagination, about innocence. And today, more than ever before, I feel people are losing touch with that.
Yeah.
They are becoming so information based, and everything is from the YouTube, and everything is like, oh, I know this, and I know that, and I've done this course. And there's too much information overload. It doesn't even get space to come across to anyone. So when you come in touch with your own strength of imagination, then you probably would share that what you know, or what you are, in fact, what you are elementally you are, in a very fun, creative way to just kind of come across. So these kind of fantasy books remind us, not even remind us, it helps us get in touch and embody that part of us. And so I would say grown-ups should read it more. Children will definitely love it. There's no question. They will, because just the sheer. I should show you another one now. Look at this. It's about a dewdrop, the fairy dewdrop, and this dewdrop is actually, see it?
Yeah, I can see.
It's too bright. Sleeping. And so when I open this, aha,
That's so pretty.
give me that reaction. Come on again. I want to see that reaction. Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell me, why do you like fantasy books? Did you like this book?
I liked this book, but more about the illustrations and how it is. I would like to read it because of the illustrations.
Ah, I see. Correct. Only poetry may be very, dry sometimes because you
Yeah.
do want. Ah, you're right. You're
And
right.
poetry sometimes makes you think a lot.
Hmm.
I would just like to enjoy the illustrations.
Illustration. That's a very nice point you made, because poetry can make you think like a limitless imagination, and you can run wild your horses. So an illustration does help to sort of contain it in some direction. Ah, wonderful point you make.
Okay, so as we're coming to the end of the shoot, we have a ritual in this podcast
Yeah.
where every guest writes a question for the next guest.
Ah,
So I have a question for you.
oh.
It's from Harshad. He's asking what takes a writer to bring stories alive.
Hmm. I think I already answered it in some way, but let me see if I can put it in a what makes a writer bring a story alive? The secret. The secret makes a writer bring a story alive. There is a secret that we all experience every day, and it's our own unique and very personal and private secret. And it's so secret and it's so magical that it's even difficult to explain or put it into words, which is why we all of us we wake up every morning to try to catch that, try to capture it in some way because it's so delicious, but we fail. Every day we fall short and say, oh my God, I was about to be that person. I'm so amazing in this. And why didn't I do the right thing? Why didn't I be this extraordinary that I feel I am? That secret is always elusive. And so you become a writer or an artist or an illustrator or a dancer or a theater person or actor to try and get that complete space where you can say exactly what you wanted without anyone interfering or suggesting or motivating you any other direction. You just have you and your paper or you and your space, and you just say exactly because even you don't know till you've started drawing it, until you started writing it. What is it? What is the secret that keeps nudging me? It's magical, it's beautiful, it's glorious, it's amazing. But it keeps nudging me, it keeps poking me in different ways from outside, from inside, from other people. But it's the secret. It's the magical secret. Thank
That's
you for asking.
great. Thank you so much for joining us today. I had a really great time talking books and illustrations with you. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you enjoyed. I thoroughly, absolutely enjoyed. But I don't want to let you go without one last poem. What do you say?
Yeah, sure.
This one's my favorite too. I can't say which one is not. So you see this again.
Yes.
You see these two clouds are crying and all the fairies around. And I'll open it to show you what happens next. Aha, rainbows.
Wow.
Rainbows from the clouds. And the poem that is quickly short going through it. And there's a big sun on this side. And you see these clothes drying on the rays.
Wow.
Those are fairy clothes. And here we go. The Rainbow Fairies. Two little clouds one summer's day went flying through the sky. They went so fast they bumped their heads and both began to cry. Old Father Sun looked out and said, oh, never mind, my dears. I'll send my little fairy folk to dry your falling tears. One fairy came in violet, one wore indigo. In blue, green, yellow, orange, and red, they made a pretty row. They wiped the cloud tears all away, and then from out the sky, upon a light of sunbeams made, they hung their gowns to dry.
Wow, that was so nice. I would love to borrow this book from you now.
I don't know if it's available in India anymore because it's by Barron's Educational Series Inc. NY, New York. But who knows? It might inspire some publisher or a writer to make something like this.
Okay. That was so nice.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fabulous, lots of fun. I love you.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Have fun being imaginative and fun and fantasyful.
If you liked today's discussion, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you would like to come on our show as a guest, fill out the form. The link is in the description below. Until next time, it's me, Anna Lilani, closing the BTP book for this week.
la 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 la